Are you a Gemini or do you know someone who is? Maybe you've heard the basics, talkative, scattered, and can't stick to one thing for more than 5 minutes. But what if I told you there's more to Gemini than fast-talking chaos and unfinished projects? Gemini is one of the quickest and most curious forces in the Zodiac, able to connect ideas, people, and conversations in ways that keep life fresh, fun, and full of possibilities. Hi, I'm Alice, host of Following Journeys, a show that profiles entrepreneurs and business leaders through the lens of their astrological chart. And today I'm taking you on a deep dive into the world of Gemini. Now, whether Gemini is your sun, your moon, or your rising sign, this is for you. And if you're not sure where Gemini shows up in your chart, just go to followingjourneys.com and get your free birth chart. You might discover something surprising about yourself or someone you love. So let's talk about Gemini. Gemini is the third sign of the Zodiac. After grounded Taurus, Gemini brings movement into curiosity, conversation, and mental stimulation. Gemini energy is about connection. It gathers information, not just to know things, but to engage, to share, and to understand different points of view. People often reduce Gemini to being witty or clever, but their real gift, it's range. Gemini is ruled by Mercury. That's the planet of the mind, communication, and movement. This gives them a kind of mental agility, not superficiality, but lightness. They move between conversations, ideas, and even worlds, holding contradictions without feeling the need to resolve them. If you're a strong Gemini, you don't just think, you multi-think, and you connect. You don't just talk, you translate. And you don't just gather information, you build bridges between people, ideas, and perspectives others wouldn't even think to link. Now, each sign is also connected to a part of the body, and Gemini rules the hands, the arms, and lungs. These are the tools of communication, movement, and breath. Maybe you're naturally expressive with your hands when you talk, or quick with your fingers when writing, typing, or creating. Or when life feels stagnant or conversations dry up, you notice tightness in your chest or restless hands searching for something to do. Many Geminis hold tension in their arms or experience shallow breath when their mind races and doesn't have a place to release that energy. Now think back to your childhood. Were you the one constantly asking why about everything? The kid who finished assignments early just so you could talk to others or start something new. Maybe you juggled 5 hobbies at once, talked to everyone, and soaked up information like a sponge. Even as children, Gemini energy is curious, quick, and endlessly interested in the world around them. They don't just want to know, they want to share, connect, and explore. That's the Gemini curiosity. Now, symbolically, Gemini is represented by the twins, 2 distinct yet connected energies, always exchanging, learning, and shifting perspectives. Gemini energy thrives on variety, exploring multiple ideas, juggling different conversations, and seeing things from every angle. Where others may see contradiction, Gemini sees possibility. That's the Gemini flexibility. Let's talk about Gemini in relationships. Gemini shows love through conversation, play, and presence. They want to know you, not just on the surface, but through your thoughts, your humor, and how your mind works. They'll remember the odd little thing you once mentioned loving or surprise you with a perfectly timed comment that makes you feel seen. Gemini needs variety to stay engaged. When their curiosity isn't sparked, they can drift or lose focus. But when they find a relationship that allows both freedom and depth, they're surprisingly loyal. They bring levity to heaviness, insight to chaos, and perspective when you've lost your way. In love, friendship, and life, Gemini is a connector, a communicator, and a cosmic messenger who helps you see things differently. So what's it like to be close to a Gemini? Well, it's like plugging into a live wire of ideas and inspiration. They'll lift your spirits, challenge your thinking, and know exactly what to say to shift your mood. Conversations with them feel alive, bright, playful, and full of unexpected turns. They bring movement, humor, and a kind of mental sparkle that's contagious. But because their energy moves so quickly, they can sometimes be misunderstood as flaky or emotionally detached. It's not that they don't care, it's that they're wired to stay in motion. When things get too heavy or too still, Gemini needs space to breathe, to bounce, to explore, and not always have to explain. Giving them room to roam keeps them present. Love them with curiosity, flexibility, and open dialogue, and you'll have a partner who keeps life endlessly interesting. Now, every sign has both a light and a shadow side. It's not about good or bad, it's just how energy moves. So let's talk about Gemini. When unbalanced, Gemini can become scattered, inconsistent, and emotionally avoidant. They may jump from one thing to the next, never pausing long enough to fully process or feel. Their humor can turn sharp, Their words can become armor. And while they may talk to everyone, they can still feel known by no one, lost in conversation, but disconnected from true intimacy. But when Gemini slows down and stays present, all that curiosity turns into real connection. That's when their mind and heart work together, and that's when they really shine. And Gemini's life lesson? It's learning that they don't have to know everything all at once, that slowing down and staying with one thing can bring a depth that they never expected. When Gemini allows themselves to sit in the quiet without filling the space, they find a wisdom that's way deeper than words. Next, let's talk about archetypes. Archetypes are simply patterns of energy, which we recognize certain roles or behaviors in people. So for Gemini, one of the clearest is the messenger. The messenger gathers ideas, carries stories, and connects people. They break patterns, flip perspectives, and bring lightness to conversations that might otherwise get heavy. Another one is the Jester. In ancient courts, the Jester wasn't just entertainment. They were observant, sharp, and often the only one allowed to speak uncomfortable truths, using humor as cover. That's Gemini energy. Playful on the surface, but filled with insight underneath. They keep things moving, keep ideas flowing, and often say what others don't know how to say. Geminis are most powerful when they're balanced. If you're a Gemini sun, moon, or ascendant, here are a few grounding tips for your energy. Prioritize quiet time. It helps you integrate. Journal or voice note. Get your thoughts out. Stimulate your mind, but also your senses. And remember, depth isn't the opposite of freedom, it's the doorway to it. And one more thing. Did you know that not all Geminis are the same? Astrologers divide each zodiac sign into 3 10-day sections called Decans, adding subtle shades to each sign depending on when you were born. So Decan 1 is May 21st to May 31st. This is the classic Gemini, ruled fully by Mercury. You're quick-witted, expressive, and endlessly curious. You're here to connect the dots and connect us to each other. Decan 2 is June 1st through 10th. Co-ruled by Venus, this adds warmth, charm, and a relational edge to your Gemini nature. You're social, magnetic, and skilled at building bridges, whether through language or collaboration. Decan 3 is June 11th through the 20th. It's co-ruled by Uranus. This adds innovation, unpredictability, and a kind of genius to your Gemini nature. You're not here to follow the rules, you're here to reimagine them. So, which one are you? Let me know in the comments which decan you fall into, and more importantly, how Gemini energy shows up in your life. Maybe you're the one who always asks the best questions. Maybe you're the friend who can talk to anyone anywhere. Maybe you're the one who connects people who would have never met otherwise. That's the magic of Gemini. Curious mind, quick wit, open heart. And if you know a Gemini who needs to hear this, send it to them. They might feel seen in a way they never have before. See you in the next sign.